Good evening and welcome to the Lagos studios of IATV. I am Adegboyega Labiran with the news. It was a bad day today for many street traders in Lagos as the state government arrested and impounded many wares as part of its ongoing zero tolerance enforcement declared against illegal street trading across the state. Operatives of State Task Force invaded one of the biggest markets, Oyigbo, arresting 15 alleged illegal traders with many of their wares impounded. The chairman of the task force, CSP Olayinka Egbeyemi, who led the enforcement team in collaboration with the State Environmental Sanitation Corps, LAGESC, said the task force is up against over 1,000 trespassers in the area. Egbeyemi lamented that the illegal trading persisted despite several warnings to traders displaying and selling wares on main roads, medians, road setbacks, drainage, alignment, as well as rail tracks. He noted that the action of the traders impeded the free flow of traffic, insisting that the state government will no longer tolerate such illegal activities that violate the environmental laws of the state. Accountants, bankers, and other similar professional bodies operating in the country have been charged to leverage on the opportunities presented by technology or become redundant in the process of time. Our former deputy governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Sarah Alade, gave the charge recently in Lagos. She noted that several aspects of banking, accounting, and similar professions are gradually being manned more effectively by robots, which comes with job loss.
The advantage is safety, as it eliminates risk associated with cash handling.
Dr. Sarah Alade, a former deputy governor and one-time acting governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, she has grown through the ranks in the banking, economics, and partly accounting professions over the years, and going by her wealth of experience, some professions in the country would be endangered if their practitioners neglect the increasing influence of technology in virtually all sectors of human endeavor.
The idea that financial service can be provided using modern software and technology at a much lower cost than traditional financial services is now a reality.
Her point in this lecture delivered to the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria in Lagos is that professionals should embrace technology and grow with trends as they unfold.
Fintech is the use of technology to support or enable financial services, and it covers many areas, including lending, international money transfer, credit reports, consumer banking, etc. Technology is resulting in new banks, open access platforms, online-only bank startups, and many more. Fintech are mostly startups that are set up to change the way things are done and make life easier and better.
Some renowned professionals in accountancy, including Chief Executive Officer of ICMA Professional Services, Dr. Awa Ibrahim, are optimistic that accounting profession will continue to remain relevant in Nigeria.
I'm not concerned because the robots will be driven by human beings and we'll make sure that we are properly placed to be the drivers.
The whole world is shifting and they are shifting seriously, and if we are not careful, we'll be left standing still. However, fortunately for us, ICANN has taken a bold step in ensuring that you don't even get inducted as an ICANN member after graduation from ICANN exams. You must undergo some ICT training that will enable you to be able to cope with the use of ICT in the profession.
But like Sarah Alade, the president of ICANN, Razak Jayola, is concerned and called on all accountants and other professionals in the country to be proactive in adapting to the daily changes brought about by technology.
For an accountant that decides to sit on the fence, yes, to sweep him away. The job of the accountant has been defined. You are no longer supposed to be bookkeepers. It's the machine, the equipment that will be doing the bookkeeping. When you are doing things that are repetitive in nature, that is where robots come in they will do it at an extra speed.
In all, a stitch in time, they say, saves 9. It's therefore a wake-up call to all to have tomorrow dominantly in mind while living out today's life. Thompson Andrew, IATV News, Lagos.
Days after the International Monetary Fund (IMF) advised that Nigeria should remove all forms of subsidies on the downstream sector to fund dilapidated infrastructures and improve the living standards of the people, Nigerians are now in fear of impending fuel scarcity across the country. Managing Director of IMF, Christine Lagarde, explained during the spring meetings of the World Bank and the International Monetary Fund (IMF) in Washington, D.C., that Nigeria's poor tax to GDP status compared to other countries in its income bracket had been poor over the years.
We believe that removing fossil fuel subsidies is the right way to go. If you look at our numbers from 2015, it's no less than about $5.2 trillion that are spent on fuel subsidies and the consequences thereof. And the Fiscal Affairs Department has actually identified, how much would have been saved.
You said Lagarde's opinion that if huge sums spent on subsidy were saved, there will be more public spendings available to build hospitals, roads and schools to support education and improve healthcare provision for the people.
Just scrap it. If we're going to be paying maybe a higher amount for us to have good hospitals, better road, quality education for kids, and if the subsidy removal is really going to help economic growth, then they should take it off. I think once that is removed, maybe our refineries will be fixed so that we will be refining the fuel, and maybe that will help to bring down the price.
Personally, I think if the oil subsidy is removed and the fuel price is hiked, I think the money coming in through the price of the oil increase, government could be able to use it to repair our refineries and then do some other things that will help the nation.
It is not the subsidy that is the problem. It is the subsidy managers that are the problem. The subsidy managers, the fuel managers, in connivance with federal government, are the ones that are using the subsidy to steal Nigerian money.
Although IMF and the World Bank advised that the federal government should do away with all forms of petroleum subsidy, the Finance Minister Zainab Ahmed said that the President Muhammadu Buhari administration will not consider the fuel subsidy removal unless there was a provision for alternative cushioning measures mutually agreed between stakeholders to protect the economically vulnerable members of the population. The finance minister revealed that the federal government was yet to arrive at any alternative measure, adding that Nigerians should ignore speculations that have led to panic buying of fuel in some parts of the country. And now to Kwara State. Following the disclosure by peace scholars that Africa is the cradle of 21st century peacemaking, peace researchers and students of the University of Ilorin are currently holding a one-week peace capacity retreat. What re-echoed at the lecture and the retreat is the potential of Africa as a cradle of 21st century peacemaking, even in the midst of its internal crisis. The guest lecturer at the retreat, Professor Simon Aderibigbe of the African Studies Institute, University of Georgia, United States, links conflict to the competitiveness of some religions.
Even when the source of conflict is not strictly speaking religious, people have read religious meanings into them because of the disposition of the attempt to compel people to be for one religion or the other. And so Africa can actually be that center of peace, because that is what Africa is always based on: tolerance and the desire to have people. And diversity have been very prevalent in Africa, on the African continent, before the advent of external factors.
Participants at the retreat were optimistic that the knowledge acquired will help them to manage conflicts and promote peace.
It's the need for to engage our community leaders, to engage our immediate family, as we also have in various communities. We have the traditional institutions there. You have the magazine in Yoruba land, for instance. You have the Alangwa, like where I come from. And even in the immediate family, you have some elders who are regarded as opinion molders. These are people who, if there are issues here and there, they can be involved and engaged, and they will intercede.
We are here to see how we can train some professionals in conflict resolution who not only have had theoretical knowledge in the class, but now gaining professional and practical knowledge at this retreat, which we intentionally did outside the university campus, just to show our resolve to have professionals who will go out from this place to see how we can project peace in Nigeria.
The Center for Peace and Strategic Studies, University of Ilorin, not only has the mandate of producing peace scholars in theory and practice, it also has a top order of producing a peace Nobel laureate in the nearest future. Over now to Faith Agbetuya for the business segment of the news.